Welcome to Viewpoints. I'm Heather Isvaron, and with me today is Margaret Muhr, Emergency Services Manager for the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you.
So tell us about your job, what you do every day.
Well, Agua Caliente is unique. We're actually located in Palm Springs, but our reservation is checkerboard. We're surrounded by 3 cities and a county, so everything that we do involves some sort of other agency. We have to ensure that we've built those relationships, that we talk on a regular basis, and that we're not exchanging business cards at the scene of an incident. My job specifically is different. I do something new every day. I can write plans, I apply and create grants, I have built an EOC from the ground up. I have brought the tribe into NIMS compliance. I respond to any and all incidents on the reservation, whether it be at a golf course, at the casino, at the government center, in our tribal lands. Anytime public safety is involved, I go out and I assist with that interaction.
And so, in your opinion, what are the most important Homeland Security issues facing Indian country today?
Well, all tribal governments are different and need to be respected as such. For us, we sit on a fault line. We have 2 gas lines that run behind the casino. We are in a fire area. We are in a flood zone. So each of those arenas is something that we have to cover. We have to be all hazards minded, and we need to be prepared to respond to any type of disaster at any time.
And really paying attention to the point you made up front, which is that all tribes are different. Would you say that there's a focus on that generally, or in terms of all hazards approach across the country? Or is it just too different and too diverse to even say?
Every reservation is different. What people need to understand is that you can't categorize tribes. Some reservations don't have any sort of enterprise. Some have a lot of enterprise. My tribe specifically has multiple enterprises. We have casino operations, we have golf course operations, we have tribal lands that we operate, and then we have a government center. Some tribes don't even have a government center in place. So it's really important for people to understand that perspective and that each nation truly is an individual.
Right. Okay. Well, so tell me what is working there at Agua Caliente.
A lot is working. We've been collaborating with the local jurisdictions. I gathered a team of emergency managers from the local tribes and created a group that meets every 5 weeks, and we talk about general issues that are emerging, what we're facing, what kind of assets and resources we have, any new requirements that are coming out that we have to meet, and we share ideas and operations and just topics of what's going on in Indian country. What that has done for the tribes is made them feel comfortable in our own arena and brought us to the table at the operational level, so that we're interacting with the county, we're interacting with the local jurisdictions. There's 6 tribes just in the Coachella Valley area that meet on a regular basis and talk about any and all of the issues that are emerging.
And tell us about your EOC.
I obtained a grant through the Tribal Homeland Security Grant Program and built, inspect, an EOC for the tribe. One of our primary jobs is to respond to search and rescue on our tribal lands. And it became very apparent 2 years ago that when we're responding to those incidents in 120-degree weather, our guys are dehydrated. It's just not good conditions. They need to be able to have a spot after they come off of the trail, after we've completed 10 hours of a search and rescue or an overnight operation, that they have somewhere to rehab. Not only our guys, but the local jurisdictions. Anytime we respond to a disaster, because of where we're situated, we have at least 3 agencies on scene, whether it's the local city, local search and rescue, local fire, plus our own staff. So I created an EOC. It's 35 feet long. It's a pool trailer. It houses 5 primary seats, 2 dispatch, and then a conference center for our leadership to sit in if they want to be in on what's going on in the operation. It's state of the art. We have GIS capabilities. We have satellite capabilities so that we can be up and running if our building falls down during a disaster. And we have the capabilities to respond and protect our own people and our own land.
Wow, well done. So what keeps you up at night, or what are the true concerns that you have? Because I think it's easy for everyone to just kind of give in and see a complicated situation and say, you know, it's just a mess in terms of the relationships between local, state, feds, and tribal and territorial. So can you just give me an idea of what concerns you?
I think overall a lot has changed. It definitely has gotten much better. I don't believe that we're where we need to be. I think that there's still some legislative action that needs to be taken, and we all know that the Stafford Act is something that's being looked at right now and definitely needs to be addressed. But I think overall, when you look at where we were even 3 years ago, it's a much different playing field. We're starting to be included. Collaboration with the tribes is not just a checkbox anymore as it used to be. They really are starting to ask for our input. Personally, for Agua Caliente, the local jurisdictions have been very good with us. Our tribal council believes in being a good neighbor and ensuring that we keep those relationships not just with the local jurisdictions, but with community support groups, with nonprofit foundations. We're very, very involved in the community and totally believe in giving back. But overall, I think that Indian country in general has seen an increase in collaboration efforts.
And just because you've been around and you teach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've had a taste of what's going on across the country. What would your recommendations be, knowing again that there are very different issues with each tribal nation? But what would your recommendations be for working towards true change?
I think the biggest goal is that we are working towards a solution rather than focusing on the problem. When there's been a history of negativity or non-compliance on one side or the other, I think that people tend to live in that problem rather than looking at a solution. And we're not going to get anywhere doing that. We can agree that there's been some things that have occurred that haven't been appropriate or accurate or not in the tribe's best interest. But moving forward, I think we all need to come to the table, decide what's going to work, going forward, especially when it comes to emergency management. Disasters know no boundaries. They don't care whether you're in a city or on a reservation land or in another state. If it's going to strike, it's going to strike, and we all need to be able to put all of that stuff aside and just deal with the disaster at hand or deal with the issues that need to be addressed. The other thing I think that needs to change is tribal liaisons. The history has been that tribal liaisons are just assigned into that position. And I think it's really important that people are assigned to that position, that they know us, that they know our land, that they know our culture, that they know the issues we face, that they're given the time and the finances to come out and explore the reservation, to tour our reservations, to see truly what our emerging issues are. It's really difficult to work in a capacity with somebody who doesn't truly understand what's going on and isn't passionate like we are about what we do.
And you mentioned, and I've worked with tribal folks as well. It seems to me that you mentioned one person, one tribal liaison. It seems to me that there might need to be an emphasis on properly staffing those liaisons because there's a lot of work to do, and a lot of it is relational. But it seems to me that it might take more than one person to do that job.
Definitely, there's 110 tribes in California, and if you put that into perspective, that would be like dealing with 110 different children and having one mother. It just isn't going to work. There's no way possible for one person to be able to do that job. And I'm not sure what the answer is there. Definitely there needs to be more resources. There needs to be more tribal liaisons assigned, whether it's divided by region or whether it's divided by, in California specifically, northern and southern. That remains to be seen. I definitely think that's something that needs to be collaborated with the tribes. They need to sit down and have that consultation and talk about where we go from here. What do we want? What are our needs? And what is it going to take to get us there? In looking at emergency management for tribes are way behind the mark. And we're way behind the mark because we haven't had the Homeland Security dollars to push us. We haven't had the staff to be able to fulfill these positions. I'm very fortunate in what I do, and my tribe has been very supportive and making sure that this is a priority for the tribe and this is something that we move forward with. But some agencies don't have the resources, they don't have the capabilities. And it's so important that the tribal liaison position for those agencies who truly need it is there to handhold, to teach them what is NIMS compliance, what is an emergency operations plan, how do you write a pre-disaster mitigation plan. All of those are year-long documents and take a lot of resources, a lot of effort, and the expertise in different fields. And if you don't have those capabilities, it becomes a no-win situation, and once you're in that position, nobody wants to move forward.
Right. Well, we certainly identified a big gap, and I think that it's important that our audience understand and learn from just this great example of what you do. And just thank you so much for your time here today.
Thank you.